If there is any skill I would want you to learn as a video editor is how to use smart selections, also known as masks. Masks are a great way to work professionally in any video editing software. With masks, you can do things like change the sky, make text appear behind other things by creating layers, work with specific effects like color correction or grading a specific part of an image. You can do things like blur a background with masks. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how masks work so that you will improve the quality of your videos if you're using DaVinci Resolve. So let's head over to the tutorial and let's learn how to do this. All right, guys, so let's actually begin. So we'll begin by creating very basic masks. So open up Resolve, create a blank project, and we don't have anything in this project yet. So I'll go over to the edit page by clicking on the edit at the bottom right here. And what I want to do is to quickly create a fusion composition. So make sure you have the media pool clicked. Let's right click and click on create new fusion composition. And we'll just call this basics like so. And I'll hit create. So now that we have basics, we also need to create a timeline to add video or audio. So I'll right click, go to timelines and create new timeline. And I'll just call that basic timeline like so. So now that we have that timeline, we can actually see what timeline we are on and we can see basic here. So I can go to workspace and say reset our UI layout. So we are all on the default same page like so. And I'll click on the media pool just to make sure we have a lot of space here. Now, what we want to do is to drag in that fusion composition to our media pool. So let's go to our timeline. So let's go to our media pool, drag this and just place it just right here. So now we have a fusion composition. We can see something here. It says no frame available for media out 1. That's because we're not displaying anything on the output. So with this selected, let's right click and go to open in Fusion page. All right, so now we have a media out. There's no media going in. The quickest way to add some media going in is to click on this. Now, if you have the media out selected, it's going to create a merge node and add this, right? So we don't want this merge, so I'll hold shift and just drag that away. And I'll just take the output of the background into the foreground of the media out. And we can clearly see our background node over here. So let's click on the background and see what we can do. We can change the color real quick to this, right? So we have a nice little blue sky, kind of like friendly sky blue like that. All right, great. So let's begin by creating our masks. Now, our masks are these objects, and you can use more than that. For a basic mask, we could add a nice little rectangle here. And if we connect that to the blue mask input, we can actually see something going on here. We're seeing a representation of our background node, but only where this rectangle exists. And that is our smart selection. We can do things like drag the width. By the way, if you can't see any properties to change, it means you're not clicking on the inspector. So please click the inspector to do that. And we're dragging the width and the height so that we can have a rectangle shape. So I'll turn this to 0.4. And we can also turn this to 0.4. Right, so we can see we have this aspect. Now, the reason why it's not giving us, it's a rect shape. So we need to just set this to make this kind of square. Now we can invert this selection. So now what we have is we've cut out a hole, right, in our window. So each time we move this around, we can see we have a hole. Now this is see-through. Let's create another background node to make that into a foreground. So first, this is going to be our foreground. So I'll hit F2. By the way, F2 is how you could rename a node. So I'll click everything away and I'll click on this background node. Now I have a background node. And for the background node, I'll set the color to something quite bright. Let's use this bright green. So our node is bright green. If I click this yellow white dot, we can see we have a green background node here. So what we're going to do is to add this as the background and the foreground node in the foreground. So now that we have a merge node, if you don't have one, just click on this icon here, the first one here, that's a merge node. And this yellow indicates that's the background, and the green one indicates that's the foreground. So let's drag this yellow into the background, and let's drag the foreground into the green foreground slot, and let's take the output and place that into media out. And just by doing that, we can see something interesting going on here. You can see that now what we have is we can see through what is in the background, and basically that's this rectangle. So we can do things like make this smooth by adding a nice little corner radius, and we can see we have this object like so. Right. What we can even do is to click on the rectangle, hit Control C and V. Now we've changed this rectangle, and we can drag this like so. And now what we're doing is we have a rectangle in another rectangle that's actually masking that rectangle. That's some rectangle, inception there. And we can invert this. And now you can see what it's doing is it's actually hiding this one. Right, so we could have something like that. We just click away and make this slightly wide. So we can have this, mask that's masking another mask. And we can see we have this cutout shape. So you can see how we can make this quite interesting, right? And for this background node, let's say, for example, we don't want the background to fill up the entire screen. We can create another mask. So I'll click on rectangle here, or let's use a circle this time around. So with this ellipse, I'll plug that into the blue mask input. And what we can clearly see is if we go to our media out and click on this ellipse and invert, we can see our output here. Now, obviously, this is the ellipse output. We're just seeing that, and this is our background. We can click that to see our background. Now, our background just has a large circle here, but since our foreground object is covering this, we won't really see that detail there. But if we drag this over to the right, we can see what we have going on right here. All right, super cool. So we can create multiple, kinds of shapes. So we created these two. If we wanted to create a custom shape, we can use a polygon, right? So with the polygon, I'll hold shift and detach everything, and I'll connect the polygon into the foreground. So we can see we have that large ellipse in the background. I'll get rid of that. So we can see we just have a polygon. So with the polygon, what I can do is to create a custom shape like a triangle, like so. So with this triangle, you can see we have a nice little triangle shape created right here, which is totally cool. All right, so let's move on. I hope you're getting the idea. But to use masks, and what we can actually do is to use this to create, a nice little border, animation. We could, we could do a lot of things here. For example, we can go to this foreground object, create a transform, and now you can see we can move this layer like so, right? We can do a lot. We can animate this layer. We could do a lot with this. So let's say, for example, if I'm moving this transform, we can see our center position. So I'll set this, let's move 20 frames, and I'll set this value here. And then I'll drag this to the beginning and just move this to the right a bit. So if we drag this to the left and play this, we can see we have our object moving to the left, which is an example of what we can do with masks. But let's use another practical example of how we can use masks. Now, if we go back to our edit page, so go over here to our edit page, we can see this entire shape here. What we can also do is to scale this down. So for example, we can drag this down right over here like that. And we can drag this to the bottom, and you can see where we're getting at here. If we don't want to lose our quality, we can undo all that, and we can go to cropping, and we can crop left, crop right, like so. right? So we're cropping the top. Just drag this down a bit, drag the right to the right a bit, and crop the bottom, crop the left. So I'll drag the left and leave the left around here, like so. So we have a nice little animated intro. Right, that's super cool. So let's go ahead and see how we can mask using a text. So to do that, I'll go over here, right click, and create a new Fusion composition, and I'll just call that text and hit create. So for this one, I'll just hit D to disable this, and I'll drag in my text into the timeline, and I'll make sure my timeline marker is on the text. I'll right click and say open in the Fusion page. So I'll drag in a text object and connect that into the media output. And let's click our text and let's say, hello world. And let's make our text quite large. So I'll just drag the text and make our text super big like that. We can do other things like change. Yeah, like this handwriting. It looks really interesting. So how do we add a mask here? Well, it's super straight, super simple. With the text selected, we just click on this and we have a rectangle on our blue mask input, and we can see what it's doing here. So we're only seeing the text within the confines of this. If it's not there, we can't see anything. So we can drag the width like so. We can even add a nice little corner radius, and we can do something as simple as just make this appear. So here, I'll set this back to 0, and just where we're moving here, we're moving our center. So we'll set a keyframe here and move a couple of frames, and then drag this back to the top like that. And now, oh, I forgot to set the initial keyframe, so I'll drag this down, drag this to the top, move over to 20, and set another keyframe. So if you drag this here, so our mask is actually not animating. That's weird. So let's try this again. So we'll just take our position. Sorry, I was animating the wrong thing. Sorry about that, guys. So the mask was perfectly okay. I was animating the wrong thing. So it's the center Y I wanted to drag. So I'll set the center Y, click on this one, and move a couple of frames and drag this up. And so now you can see we're animating our mask. Apologies for that. All right, super cool. So let's see how we can use masks with a video clip. So I'll import two video clips. I'll hit Control I. I'll go to my folder and open a simple video, and I'll drag this video to my timeline like so, and I'll disable this one, and I'll go ahead and hide the media. So what can we do here? So I want to use a mask to blur out this background and also apply effects specifically just to this mask. So how do I do that? So with this clip selected, I'll just right click and open in the Fusion page. Now we can see our media in the Fusion page like so. So what we want to do first is to blur out this. So if I click on this blur and increase the blur size, we can actually see we're blurring out the entire image. That's not what we want. We just want to blur out the background to add depth of field. So to do that, I'll go over to Polygon and draw out. Now I'm using the middle mouse button to just drag this section here, and I'll just create a nice little outline around the object I want to use as the background here. So up to here, and I'll just drag this back here. So we have this, and I'll call this our, hit F2, I'll call that BG blur to signify this is background blur, like so. And for this background blur, I'll connect the blur into the mask. And just by doing that, you can see we're blurring out the background. We're not blurring out any foreground object, although we can go in the mask and refine. If you want to zoom in, hold Control and use the middle mouse button to pan in and out, like so. and we can always soften the edge of the mask. So go over here and drag the soft edge just to make the edge much more softer. And this is an example of what we can actually do with a mask, right? So we have an object, we can, blur things out. And let's say, for example, I want to increase the color contrast of, this section here. Let's create another mask. So I'll go over here, click on polygon, and just draw out a nice, little shape around our subject, including the board. We can be as detailed as we want. So now that I have this new mask, I'll go over to color correct node and then take the output of our blur into the input and take the output into the media out. And then I'll use this into the, color corrector. So this is where we're going to apply that color correction. And now you can see our mask is only applied to this section here, like that. So we're giving it a kind of cool little glow like that. So this is without the color corrector. This is with the color corrector. Just a subtle little change. Now, if we wanted to play around with the brightness and contrast too, what we can do is to add a brightness and contrast node over here. So now that I have that, I'll connect this into the input and take this into the output. And if I wanted to add the brightness and contrast on the foreground object alone, I'll take this mask, hit Ctrl C and V to copy it, and I'll hold Shift to bring it out, and I'll connect it over here like so. So we're using the same selection. Now in our brightness and contrast, we can do things like bump the gain or darken this, or we can play with the contrast like so, just to make this slightly, pumped up. And this is what we have here. So I hope you get an idea of what we can do with, masks. Another way to also use masks is to do that in the color page. So if I go to the color page, for example, I have, and I think it's nice to use another separate clip for this, but we can use the color page to create a mask. And to do that, let's go over here to the window. Now this is the power window in the color page. I'll disable the clips so we have a nice little large space to work with. And within the color window, we can apply a mask to a certain specific section. For example, I can take this and just apply an effect only within the region of this confined space. And to do that, say for example, we wanted to add, fix the color around here. We'll go over to our color wheel and bump up the gamma like so, and then drag the gain down and just push this like that. And this is going to be affected only to the object that's within this power window. We can invert the power window and say affect everywhere else except this one. So these are ways we can actually use masks, right? So now the power window is only being affected within this region. All right. So I hope you have an idea on how masking works and how you can use masks in DaVinci Resolve. We saw how we could mask using basic shapes. We saw how we can mask creating basic text. And we saw how we could also apply a mask using a video clip where we could enhance a color and add a specific effect to a specific region in a background. There's more we can do with masks, but these are the basics. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial.